For the Rams, that was a huge, exhilarating bounce-back win over the Colts, 27-20. Great late throw by Stafford. He was just on fire. And for the Rams, that is the type of performance they need for them to try to make this Super Bowl run. Yeah, for the Rams out of the gate, it was clear that the Colts are a real team. And that they were going to have to come out here and win this game. And they did exactly that. Now, they got some timely plays, some errors from the Colts, but they had some errors last week. Like, errors happen. You have to capitalize off of them. And I think the biggest moment, a couple of the big moments of the game, that 2-minute drive where Matthew Stafford just picked the Colts apart, went right down the field, and they got a huge touchdown out of that, despite getting sacked toward the end using their last time out. They go Puca screen, and then they go touchdown dot in the back of the end zone. Like, that was just higher level stuff from them. Stafford, great protection all day, and when he has time to throw it, I mean, like a little bit sometimes against the Eagles, he was running for his life a tad, but this game he was in the pocket chilling, and he was just throwing lasers. McVay was in his bag. I mean, Puca, It almost changes every year, but because, Jettis is playing with nobody and Chase doesn't have Burrow, Puca right now, at this early point of the year, I mean, he looks like the best receiver in the league with what he's been doing. Maybe not the most talented, but he's definitely been the most productive. 13 catches, 170, and a touchdown, and he was just that dominant. Like, they couldn't guard him. Nobody can guard this guy. He's open no matter where he goes. And honestly, one thing that's crazy about it is they're the one team that can make that little bubble screen really work because of how well they block and how powerful of a runner Puca is. I mean, we saw him a couple weeks ago. They ran a reverse and Puca got a touchdown. So he's a game breaker. And then you have Kyren Williams. Not only does Kyren Williams make a lot of nasty moves in the open space and in tight space, getting runs, but he is a really great and willing pass blocker, and he saved a couple of those plays by coming in, getting a chip, and just making an incredible block. So for the Rams, I mean, we know on the offense side of the ball, really what it's going to come down to is Matthew Stafford under pressure. Because he's not, the most dynamic guy, obviously, just at his old age. And can he stay healthy? But the weapons are there, and McVay dialing them up, especially when they're in SoFi. I mean, they look like a different offense. On the other side of the ball, defensively, I would say their corners definitely need a little work. They almost let up some big plays, but they didn't, luckily. But Cameron Curl was out there at free safety, and he was making plays on the ball as well. 2 huge interceptions, one to start the game off, the other one to end the game. And so Cameron Curl had a great game for him at the free safety position. D-line-wise, I mean, Byron Young, what can you say about Young and Burst with Fisk in the middle, but those guys on the outside. Young tracked down Daniel Jones for what normally would have been a first down this early in the game. Like, this guy's fucking fast, and you know what Burst is. And then at the end of the game, Burst, huge play, forces a fumble, just wrecked an entire drive for the Colts. So it's really impressive stuff. They're a really, really good team, and they needed this win. You don't want to start getting into the habit of losing games, even against good teams, especially with the NFC West just continuing to look absurd. So go out there, win that game. You're right back tied with the Seahawks. And now the 49ers dropped one. So you're there. You're there in a very good position. And for the Rams, it's kind of just going to be, you know what you have. You have the weapons. You have the D-line. The secondary can get hit up a little bit. But so much is going to come down to what was talked about in the preseason, and can Stafford stay healthy? And that's kind of what it's going to come down to me. I mean, the team they have experience. That you saw them never waver in this game. And I think that they have enough defensive linemen, and Cameron Curl's out there making plays, enough players to make enough plays to win these games. So very interesting. Now, coming up gets really interesting for the Rams. They play the 49ers Thursday night football. So quick turnaround, 3 days away. The Rams will be playing the 49ers. Then they get the Ravens on Sunday. And then they get the Jags. So those are some real tough games. That's why, again, you can't get in the habit of losing games. If they could somehow get to 5-2, they would have to be thrilled, because all of those three teams, even though the Ravens are 1-3 right now, very dangerous, and the 49ers and Jags, they're just tough defensive teams, where maybe their offenses aren't the best, but their defenses will come to play, and they will be able, well, maybe not the 49ers without Bosa as much, but the Jags specifically with Josh Allen, they will be able to put pressure on Stafford, and that's the only thing I'm concerned about with this team, because so much of the drink is stirred by Stafford, and he's just old. You know, it's not like he's bad. He's a really, really good player. He's just old, so at any time, a nick and a bruise during a game could definitely impact them. And we know he'll stand in there and he'll take those throws and take those hits to make those deep passes. So I'm interested to see how the offensive line holds up against those kind of pass rushes. Now the Ravens, they should carve up like butter, but that's going to be very interesting to see. But for the Rams, great job. Now you're 3-1. Great way to end September, and we will see what happens with them going forward. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do weekly videos for each team. So we have playlists directed to your team and the week in the description. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and most importantly, comment in that section. I'd love to talk to you guys about what you think about the videos, what could be improved, what I did right. Thank you again. Lumia Sports. Peace.